Testing, 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 testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, everyone, and welcome to SkaredCast. I'm Skara, your grateful host, and this is the Friday hobby stream. I've been doing the very formal news shoutcast sort of thing when we were doing the point values had been released for not the point values. The rulebook was released, all the stuff. We're waiting for point values to be released. So I'm really excited to just chat. We're gonna sit down. I'm gonna do some hobby today. So this is a put in the background and listen to me while you hobby. And I'm gonna be building a repulsor because we all know how fantastic Primera Space Marines are. Of course, this is a commission that I'm doing for the Hooded Goblin, for Cody at the Hooded Goblin. And I have been spending the entire week building my Indomitus box Crusade that GW was kind enough to send to me. So I was able to sort of build all these. Really cool. Now they are all monopose. However, I have been able to switch arms and switch some of the arms and then switch some of the I did this conversion where I've actually cut and made a bionic arm where, and I cut the plasma gun off and stuff to make him. So I've made each of them individual and unique, and that has been really, really fun. And then this week as well, I think next week, once the pre-orders are done, these are going to get primed, and then I'm going to be doing sort of like a paint series on Twitch at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can check the links down in the description. But hello, everybody, and welcome to the hobby stream. So if you have any questions about Ninth that I can answer, I have been playing Ninth missions and games and doing, helping coaching clients and doing battle reports. There's another one that should be released soon where I played the Tyranids, the monstrous Tyranids, and I'm really excited to basically continue this whole process. Reek the Forgotten, good morning. Good morning, Johnny. Good morning, Joshua Pound. What legion is it going to be painted? Hey, yo, Gunner, what's going on? Nice to see you, Gunner. I'm painting them as Black Templars. What do you mean? What legion am I painting them as? Black Templars being like the best when it comes to showcasing. Hello, sorry again. To showcasing all the close combat goodness. I'm super excited. I think my favorite model, hello Prankster, how's it going, of the entire thing is probably the Captain and then the Chaplain, because this Chaplain mimics and is an homage to the original Chaplain that has pretty much the exact same pose with the metal face as well, with the bionic face. And that was my first Chaplain, and that Chaplain has been with me for 20 years. So I'm very excited to paint a Chaplain that looks pretty much the same and is kind of neat. So I'm really excited about that. Got my trusty little table. I'm gonna lower this a little bit. Whee! There we go. Boop. Oh, I should probably put this up, be like, this is what I'm working on, internet. Ta-da! But I'm not really. It's just, that's just a PR stunt right here. Tommy says, what from Drukhari can now fire in combat and after falling back, venom-wise? Well, you can make anything fall back and fire because you have a stratagem to do so. But, you can fire into combat with your vehicles and stuff. Hello, David Stanley. Hello, Skern. William Lanson. The Chaplain is one of the best models. Yeah, that Chaplain is sexy. I love it. It's fantastic, and I cannot wait to sort of play it more often and more frequently. I don't know. I think just in general, Chaplains are some of the coolest, lore-wise. Ever since, of course, as a Black Templar player, I fell in love with, what was it? I fell in love with Chaplain Grimaldus, and then you read the War for Armageddon and Hell's Reach and all that stuff, and oh man. By the way, if you haven't watched that video online of Hell's Reach, it's phenomenal. Good morning, BP Edwards. How are you? Hello, Nuno Segura. Hello. How's your Talarn project, Winky Face? Good, thank you. I actually had somebody send me some old Talarn models, some extra Talarn bodies. I just have to strip them. So I have a couple more guys with las guns, which is always useful because you need las guns. William says, I'm a chaplain enthusiast myself. I collect the chaplain models. Nice, like one of every. I know I have a few people that do, like Peter Smith. Peter? Yeah, Pete. He is a huge chaplain aficionado. So he loves the chaplain. And he's got like all the chaplains, like the old school original Ford like chaplain dreadnought, and he's got the old school original Black Templar venerable forgeable dreadnought and all that good stuff. BP Ed was asked, on the assault intercessors, are the heads and shoulder pads attached, or can you put your own chapter's heads shoulder pads? Shoulder pads are attached. However, with because of the way that the joints and arms, if you have some extra Primaris bits, from like the other kits, you can probably use the arm joints from the other Primaris bits, like find a way to add the chain swords to like the forearms of like the multi-kit Primaris, and then be able to put whatever shoulder pad you want. So like, there's probably a way that you could do it. It would take some work. It would take some work to do. The heads are separate in most of them, so you can basically switch them to whatever you want. Obviously, the Legion of Doom. Hey, Wee, how's it going? Wee, you are amazing. I miss you, buddy. How's it being a new dad? Being a dad and a gamer dad at that is really fun, by the way. These are the side. No, don't want to put the side ones on. The back one on here. Good morning, Raymond. I think Lovers of Chaplain's name Chappie. Yes, sure. In the guard, grenade launchers and autocannons is the bread and butter, and it never goes wrong. That is also true. Oh, Scary, I just played a 1,000-point game in 9th yesterday with a similar Drukhari that you've been playing with against my buddy's orcs. Ended up winning 18-11. Drazar is a beast. Drazar is a beast. El Chapo seems more intimidating. El Chapo Goose Chaplain. That's funny. Going to end up chaosifying a few of them. That does make sense. You could definitely easily chaosify them for fabulous bills. Extravagant extravaganza. Wee says it's exhausting being a dad. Yeah, welcome to parenthood. Once they grow up, it's not that bad, like the trueborn currently. I think I've always wondered, if it would be like, if people would like to talk about being a parent and a hobbyist. You know what I mean? Like, how does one balance life and hobby? I could do a whole series about that. How do you balance the life and the hobby? Do we get the book with point values tomorrow? I have no idea. And if I did have an idea, I couldn't actually tell you, Jake. I'm sorry. But I don't have any ideas. Any tips on putting a baby for a nap when she really doesn't want to go down? Put a fan on. Fan, vacuum cleaner, running water. Make it noisy. And they'll pass out. Ishlangu. Skare, good to catch one of your streams, mate. Glad to see you holding up during the madness. Holding up during all this madness? Yes, it has been crazy. We did like a full, I guess I've been streaming non-stop since the beginning of the lockdowns really started. So it has been quite a process, quite a process. When are we going to see the next bat rep? Soon, as soon as it gets edited. I filmed it yesterday, sent it over to Damien. And then he normally sends it to me pretty soon. So it should be today at some point. I was hoping it would be before the stream today. It might actually be already on the server. I just haven't checked my messages. I just listen to rain sounds at night. I do too, Alex. I literally, on Spotify, one of the things I listen to are rain and water. And literally I put it on and I just pass out. I need that just noise. Rain pitter-pattering or the sound of waves or whatever just puts me right out. Patrick Molstad says, starting Space Marine now? Oh, sorry, missed your question, Malcolm. Man, there's a lot of questions. You guys are excited today. I'm excited too. Hey, Scary, sup? When are we gonna see? Oh, hey, how's it going? I think points chapter prove, which is 25th. Could be. White noise generated for the win. Yes. Which coven are you most excited for 9th? Prophets of Flesh. 4 up invulnerable save just makes them so durable. I just listen to rain sounds. Yes. Starting screens. Patrick, I own a whole Black Templar army. That was my original first army. I know it's hard to believe. I'm an imperial scumdog. But Black Templars were my original army. So there you go. Hi, Scary, says Federico Kitokan. One question about new edition. Is there a point limit for reserves deep strike? I assume you cannot put 100% of your armies in reserve, although it would be nice to troll. Ha! I wish we could go back to the days of 6th and 7th edition where you could literally deploy reserve your entire army and stop your opponent from having 2 turns of shooting. As a Dark Eldar army, I love that. No, so you have to put at least half of your models or half of your units on the table, and then half of your points have to be on the table. So you cannot put more than half in reserve. Basically the same rules as we had in 8th edition, pretty much. Yeah. However, you pay for your reserves if you don't have like stratagems with the power level of the units that you put in reserve. So that's an interesting dichotomy there. Ishlangu says, I've been working during the day, so I haven't called as much as I wanted. Well, I'm glad you were able to hang out with us today. Good morning, Garbanzo Bean Donuts. I can't sleep a bit silent either, Alex. Garbanzo uses an app called Rain. Hey, Zero Max KO, thanks for the follow on Twitch. You are a boss man, thank you. Remors, or a boss lady, whatever it is that you consider yourself. Good morning, Rumors. Happy Fridays, everybody. Kyle asks, do you think that we are going to see a shift of Alpha Strike to more durable armies with the removal of kill and kill more? You still have to kill stuff, but it's more about killing stuff off of objectives. So you want efficient killing, and you want to be able to kill stuff off of objectives. I think that's and durability is the name of the game, but it's either going to be mega durability or like a bunch of little things that you don't care dies. Alex says, I do sometimes listen to Gregorian chants. Oh, interesting. I like Gregorian chants. Prophets of Flesh always will be the best. True. It's too good to pass up the 4++. Yes. BP Edwards, when I'm home alone, I need a fan on. There you go. Dom Maidlow says, hey, Scary. Hey, the Council Room just followed on Twitch. Hi, Council Room. How are you? What do you think is a better size for grotesques? Genius Occult Aberrants or Age of Sigmar Crypt Horrors? Take both and mix them into one unit. Problem solved. Silver Crow Studios, thanks a lot for the follow on Twitch. You're awesome as well. Jacob says, hey, Scary. Hi, Jacob. That'd be funny if you would sleep like a Viking war chants. That's true. Or the shield bashing, or the clap. Have you seen the 2 Emergent picks? Both look very Dark Eldar-like. I steer clear of rumors. I really do. I really could care less. I want like physical, juicy stuff in my hands when it comes to releasing stuff in the books and stuff like that. Good morning, the War Mistress, our fellow social media expert from 40K Today. It's the you're welcome, internets. Just put on some Halug. You can sleep to that. That's funny. What do you bring your Battle Adepts Custodies? The slaves are crazy. Silver Crow says, what do you bring when you battle Adeptus Custodes? Their saves are crazy. I use the same list that I run all the time. So one of the keys to success in the game is play the same list for everything. And then just learn how to play it against different people. So against Custodes, you have to really focus your fire. You have to prevent them from hitting you where it hurts and sacrifice little units to sort of bait them out and then get them into vulnerable positions and then counter strike and counter punch. Plus disintegrators are amazing. Good morning. Patrick says, trying Tyranid Warriors as a forward unit. Any tips on what could be good objective holders for NIDs? Lots of 10-man Termagon units everywhere. Yep. That's what I would use. Or just 3-man rower units everywhere. Try your list with 3 Talus instead of Grotesque. It works very well. I'm glad you like the list. I've been developing that list for like 4 weeks. So it's a triple patrol list. It has been very good. In the ruler that came with the box, says Nuno. Is there anything on what the Supreme Commander keyword is and who will get it? No. I'm assuming that'll be a part of all the FAQs and stuff they release for every faction for 9th edition, and they'll say, add this keyword to these models or whatever. It's going to be stuck in your head now. It's the model of the day. Miniature Scenery! Hello! Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Really appreciate it. Miniature Scenery. I wasn't planning on getting a Space Marine army, but then I saw the Indomitors box and prices, and I had to get one. My question is, what chapter should I paint them? My vote for Black Templars. Although, if you really want to be competitive, then Ultramarines. But if you really want to challenge yourself as a painter, then yellows, right? Imperial Fists, of course. Also, Scary, are you a fan of Vampire the Masquerade? I've played it once, so I can't say that I am or I am not. Hello, Scary, says Christopher Scrafton. Hello, Christopher Scrafton. I know it's very early, but do you think the raiding force rule of 3 patrols is going to be a valid choice, or is it more likely to be 2 battalions? Well, if you've watched any of my battle reports lately, you would know where my head is at. I love the 3 patrols. The cool thing is you can make the patrols any obsessions you want. So you could technically run 2 patrols of Blackheart and then 1 of like Coven. And basically it's like running a battalion and another detachment of Coven and Blackheart. So it's about the same competitively, which is pretty cool. Kayla says, allocating wounds. If you pass all saves on, say, a Storm Shield Sergeant, do you have to keep allocating wounds to him even though he suffered 0 wounds? Yes, that is one of the main changes of 9th edition when allocating wounds to a model. If you allocate wounds to a model, they have to continue taking the saves for the entire phase or until they die, and then you can allocate to a different model. So no more can you go, oh, you've shot me with all the low AP, I'm going to put on the Terminator in my Deathwatch squad. Oh, and now you're shooting me with high AP and the Terminator didn't take any damage. I'm going to take in the Storm Shields now. Very big difference. Also, it works with a variety of different units that people were kind of doing that with. But that's, yeah, big change. Patrick says, in your list, what role do you use the bikes for? So whenever I'm playing a list, there's a little coaching tidbit and, clinic stuff that I've been working with clients on. In 8th edition, I find that there are 3, if you make a good, valid list format is to have it in 3 stages. The pin, control, support. So the bikes are the pin, is you pin them in place. You prevent your opponent from moving out and taking the board as effectively as you want. They're there to just sacrifice themselves, but their speed and mobility means they can go in and just create havoc in the enemy backlines, giving you enough time to maneuver the grotesques to then control the board, take objectives, and by the time they've dealt with both the grotesques and the Reaver jet bikes, a lot of the times they can't really push out onto the objectives fast enough. So pin, control, and support. In my case, I've got Ravagers or Planes or whatever in like a supporting fire support role. Don't paint them in a chapter that has its own codex. Yeah, you could definitely paint them in like a custom chapter, and then you can make them whatever you want. That's a great way of doing any Space Marine stuff, really. Blood Ravens, best chapter. Scary, fight me. That was me fighting you, Skern. Pick another chapter. Correct. How many Custodes tactic episodes is enough? Well, if you're Darren, there's never enough Custodes tactic episodes. I wonder if Scary will manage to sing it. Yes, I did sing it. I already have a Chaos Force of Renegade Howling Griffins, so I have done yellow already, kinda. Okay, that makes sense. Morning, Banana Man Drew. Banana Man Drew. Banana Man Drew. I hope you're doing well today. I am. I look like a banana today, see? Good morning, Charles. How are you? Nice to see you. Hopefully everything's going well. Ahoy, Mr. Powerhouse. Finally caught up with the chat. Holy moly, this chat was going absolutely bonkers. And, if I look away for like 2 seconds, it'll pop up again. So I am building I do think that my Black Templar army, so don't know what the points are yet. However, I'm going to be doing a Black Templar army with, it's going to be based basically around a battalion, I would assume. It's going to have my Empress Champion. It's going to have a captain that is a chapter master, I believe. It's going to have a couple of different things. Farseer Chibi says, question, how would you effectively field all 3 Eldar factions on the table? Seems rather CP intensive. Are you saying all 3 Dark Eldar factions? Just run the triple patrol. The triple patrol gives you 4 CP, and then the 2 CP for the third patrol is refunded because of your warlord. So you have 3 patrols, so you can have 3 different obsessions in your army. And then start the game with 12 CP, which is fabulous. I meant sing. It's the war message to the tuna model of the day. You missed the first bit. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the first bit. Any value to Cabalites on foot with the changes to morale and 9th edition adjustments? I don't know. I'll probably test it. Like, I don't really like talking about things that I haven't physically tested. Like, there's tons of channels out there that do a whole bunch of guesswork, and do actual, like, oh, well, I think this will be good, and I think this will be good, or this is the best army, or whatever. No, that's not how it works. Like, you should put practice. If you don't practice and put it into practice, how the fuck do you know? How? That's right. So I don't like talking about that I don't know about. What do you think 100% Coven armies? Says Dom. I think there's value in durability in 9th edition. However, you definitely need to make sure you have some sort of fire support, so maybe Reapers might be the way to do it. As a pin unit, huh? What would Nids use? Gargoyle? Gargoyles, anything that you can pin with anything that the Swarm Lord pushes up, right? Like 30 Termagants or whatever, Hormagons. Just throw them up and pin them. Gargoyles is a good choice because they fly and they can like do the -1 to hits with their blinding venom and stuff like that, which can be quite powerful. I hope NDA on points gets lifted tomorrow, since it's pre-order day. I couldn't confirm nor deny that if I did know or deny that. Oh well, I'm a fool. What? Oh, no, it's okay. It was a good question. They just in the Dark Eldar preview, and I've been doing that like every battle report. 3 patrols. It's great, and it's cheaper, right? You don't need as many tax units to take the same stuff essentially. Which 9th missions will be the most difficult for Drukhari? I haven't played all of them, so I cannot tell you which one. However, the one that I played yesterday, was actually harder than it seems. Like it was, and I think I also took like bad secondaries. However, I think we played mission 6, Vital Intelligence, and that was definitely an interesting mission because you had to, albeit there's so many objectives, be all over the table and stuff. But Scary says Theory Hammers, 4th aspect to the hobby. 4th aspect to the hobby. Like, don't get me wrong, I like theory hammering, and I'll think of ideas and stuff like that. But I much prefer the value of experience. Then again, I guess you could be like, well, experience, then how are you ever going to innovate? Yeah, okay, well, I innovate and then I put it to the test and then I see whether or not it's viable with trial and error, right? What mission has been the hardest so far then? The one I played yesterday, the Vital Intelligence, because that's so many objectives and stuff. So it got pretty crazy. TV Robbie, hey! Thanks a lot for your subscription. 7 months. Nice. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the ongoing support. It makes me smile inside. Good morning. Hey, how's it going? I hope you're having a good time. Kalith asks, I wonder if birdies are good now. It seems like so many wounds can swarm easily objective, physically control the board. With so few points wound, wondering why you dropped them from your list. Well, I have been playing 1500 points to kind of prepare for like any and all point increases, whatever they may be. So they just don't really fit into that. At the other time, like you have to buy a 40-point Beastmaster for that. And this is a repulsor, by the way. And you have to buy a 40 some point, at least now that's how much it is, like 40 points or whatever. With, and it's like, what is the point? What is the point? Then you're paying an extra, basically a whole other unit worth of Cabalite Warriors to take a character to take the bikes. So it's like, I mean, not the bikes, the Razorwing flocks. So why would I do that? However, if I'm playing Inari, I love the birds, and the birds are like a key unit when I'm playing Inari, because the Incarn gives them, or like you've got the the Inari psychic power to give them a 6+ feel no pain. Sorry, they get a 6+ feel no pain from the Incarn nearby, and then they get a 5+ invulnerable save from the Shield of Inead psychic power. So in Inari, they go into my list every time because that's just how that goes. Like just every single time. What in the world? Cool. The weird part is with patrols, I'm thinking 2 Coven, 1 Cabal, and current list ideas. Yeah, you could do two Cabal and 1 Coven, or you could literally do anything you want. There are lots of different choices for like what you want to take in terms of Cabal and Coven and all that stuff. So, that's how that goes. And the strike first in Inaris is better in ninth. Oh, it's much better. Always strike first is great. Like yesterday, I was opened up to, there's a warlord trait, a Kraken, Tyranid Kraken warlord trait, where at the start of the fight phase, you pick a Kraken unit, like a Tyranid unit, within 6 inches of this warlord, and they get the always strike first special rule. Now, that's not something that you would have ever seen in 8th edition, right? And now that in 9th edition, the opposing player picks who fights first, right? And then you have like literary units. You could have a unit of Gene Stealers, Tyranid Warriors, like a big monster, whatever it is, always have strike first if they're close. That means that they're going to punch the crap out of stuff. And that's actually really cool. Gary, hello from Ontario, Canada. You're from Vancouver. By the way, where are you from, everybody? Make sure you leave a comment down below. If you haven't already, click that like button, share it, subscribe, and consider supporting me on Patreon if you haven't already, since that's literally what I do, is make videos and stuff. But other than that, awesome. Vancouver, that's really neat. 4/4 says, so, demons, ... Is there anything but Big Bird plus 3 other graded demons with 3 exalted and Nurglings? Because looking at the rules, non-soup Chaos CP tax demons look rough. I think you still want to soup your Chaos as much as possible. However, look at summoning as an option. Summoning helps you bring in stuff that you might not want to spend the CP for another detachment for. Primary says, I'm like 3 blocks away. Yes, I know you are. Calith, Greece, nice. SoCal, nice. Major League nerd, awesome. Shout out to all the SoCal folks. What you said about allocating wounds just killed me. The saving wound allocation on Bullgreen, Slab Shield, Brute Shield is now dead. It is definitely dead, yes. But it's a good thing. It's just going to simplify the game, just roll. As an attacker now, I get a little bit more control over, what weapons to shoot at you or whatever. Hello from Homer, Alaska. Nice. What are you working on, bud? I am working on a repulsor. It's a commission I got commissioned to do from Cody at the Hooded Goblin, so I'm just kind of working on that. And working on that, yeah, that's the plan at least. Just hanging out here in San Antonio. Nice, David. How do transport your Dark Eldar transport like Venom's on those transports? The spiky bits make me uneasy. Oklahoma City. How do you feel about the loss of Maelstrom War? Hold on one second. I'm going to answer your question, Shentaku. Don't mind me, I'm being crazy right now. But I have decided to show you how this works. So for regular stuff, I use a regular tray, right? This is just a regular foam tray, got a bunch of guys in there. Okay, cool. So that's number one. That doesn't really change ever. Now, I had been using like the same foam trays for like 15 years or 10 years since the Dark Eldar released. Oh, hey, Frank Ford, old-time podcast listener. Man, that's like way back in the day. Like really back in the day. That's fantastic. So battle foam. I use battle foam. Now battle foam. So battle foam sells these trays, and they're really deep. You see, and for example, this one is made for Void Raven bombers. So then I can have both my Void Raven bombers nicely packed with their fly stands. The only issue I have with this one is that this part of the fly stand thing is a little tight, so it kind of just like if you make it makes it too thick, it kind of will be big and stuff. Cool. So that's that one. So that one's pretty cool. Then they have different ones like these, which are for Reaver jet bikes. Cool thing is they're relatively deep, so you can literally put them in with their entire base and stand. But boom! Oh, too far from my mouth. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that helps. Did that help? Yes, good. I hope that helps. Sometimes I take my thing off. Yeah, so that's that. And then of course, since I don't have all of them, you can I put like, grotesques and stuff. Okay, so that's the Reaver jet bike. So I just recently got an order. I spent like $200 worth of foam, and I got a bunch of foam, but because I wanted to be able to, because I'm repainting all my Drukhari, I'm redoing all my Dark Eldar tanks and stuff, and I wanted them to look pretty sexy and paint them nice and not have to worry about them breaking and things like that. So then I've got this one. This is one of my favorite trays. It's the Razorwing Jet Fighter and Venoms. So you can put 4 Venoms in there and a Razorwing Jet Fighter. And now, of course, I've got Archon Skari in there and Drazar. They're hanging out in here too because it's like deep enough. But you can literally put them in, with their base. You can glue them on the base, make a nice base, and they slot in really nicely. Ta-da! Right in there. So that's super fun. Do you not find battle foam is very rigid? I'm using Feder because I heard battle foam was too stiff. Whatever. I just like that. This is probably my favorite tray, the one I've used for 10 years. And it's still going strong. It's the 3 Ravagers, 2 Raiders tray, right? And it's this deep. So you can literally, you just go like this and you go, ta-da! Entire Ravager with everything in and everything. And it goes in like that. And then it's completely safe, even if you put stuff on it and all the pointy bits don't get broken off. I like it. That's like my favorite. That's how I transport my Dark Eldar. And the cool thing is the size of that foam fits really nicely into a banker's box. So you can literally just slide it into a banker's box if you don't have like a fancy, battle foam bag or whatever. So, but that's kind of what I use. Eagle Author, thank you very much for the follow on Twitch. I really appreciate you coming by to say hello. I'm glad. Battle foam, yes, I do. Farseer, absolutely. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Going through all the comments here because I don't want to miss anybody. I hope Warden is elite. Same with Destroyers. Not sure about the Reanimator. Warden is elite. Destroyers are not. Reanimator, I'm not sure. Will Aletha Knight, says Harry. Are you planning to play different factions other than Drukhari? Well, I have my Talarn. I have my Sisters of Battle. I have my Dark Eldar. I've got some Harlequins. Got some Eldar. Got my Black Templars. So I play a variety of different things, even different games. But, competitively, I'm probably just, I play Dark Eldar because I'm good at it and I love it. And it's challenging. It's not like point and click. But I always play just for fun. I play different things. Do you not find Battle from... Oh, you are asked that question. Where's the tray from All-Star Ravagers? You can get them custom built. If you want to make a custom tray, just get them to build a custom tray for your old Ravagers. They'll cut it for you. It's cool. Both have the positives and negatives. It's true. Thomas says, excited to play tomorrow? I'm very excited. Tomorrow I'm going to an RTT. It's an 8-person RTT. We're going to be wearing masks and, PPE and all that good stuff, or personal protective equipment. And it's at the Hooded Goblin. It's like 8-person so that we can have the tables all spread out and, that sort of stuff. So it'll be super fun. And I'm taking my 1,500 points. So I'm really excited about that. I remember in a bat rep some time ago, someone sent you some grotesques he made and is selling. Can you tell us the store again, Caliph? Yes. So I haven't built them yet. I'm in the process of, because I've got a couple of projects, but this is them from our, what is it? Wonderlight Games. There we go. Wonderlight Games. And they're really cool, actually. They're like resin. They are monopose. They're resin, but they are extremely well detailed. So, yeah, they look really cool. And there's 3 of them in this box. They're technically flesh golems. Flesh golems. But they are going to be added onto my eclectic grotesque unit. What are your thoughts on Maelstrom? Zera, thank you very much for bringing that up again. I love Maelstrom. I'll play it. Just because it's not part of the official rules doesn't mean you can't play it, right? It's still Maelstrom, and it works in any sort of format, which is kind of cool. Volume. Volume? Morning. Hello, Jared. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's continue this work here. Yeah, so it's been, seeing those, it looks so good. Yeah, they look really cool. They're actually really fun, and I like them. I like them a lot. So 64, 63, you need to make these other ones. There we go. How many 64s? Two of those? No, all of them. So six of them. Oh, they're all the same? Yeah, they're all the same. They are all the same. I love the terrain from Avalon that Cody had printed. Get on that Kickstarter. Looking forward to some of that terrain, says Charles. Yeah, it was really cool. I'm really glad we got to show it off because it's a very I've had my fair share of like 3D printed terrain, and some of it's like really flimsy and like it breaks really easily, or like it's like, okay, you want terrain that you're gonna pull in and out of your terrain box like all the time or whatever. You definitely don't want to have to like fix them every single time. Harry asks, do you buy your models mostly brand new or secondhand? Depends. I haven't had to really buy models in a very, very long time because I don't really chase the meta too much. I play with what I have. As for my project right now, where I'm rebuilding my Dark Eldar, I am looking at basically buying everything from scratch. And then I've got two things. Number one, I'm going to have like an army that is going to be like my travel army that I'm going to take like overseas and to Vegas and things where there's not really like much of a hobby component. It's mostly competitive, in which case, at least for now, volume again. What? The volume on my end seems fine. Why? Why would you do this to me? Maybe it seems fine on my end, like the levels. Let me know if that works. Maybe it's just this thing that was a little weird or whatever. Let's just check this out here. Oh, you good? Okay, cool. I just had to twist it. Apparently, if I twist it, it's rather like finicky, but I like it. It's good. When you turn to the left, it seems to dip for some reason. Yeah, makes sense. Better. Cool. Thank you. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, and then 1, 2. These are all the same, so I don't really have to worry about them being different. I already built one Repulsor, and I built it for my Black Templars. I put like cool Black Templar bits on it, but I believe this Repulsor is going to be a Space Wolf Repulsor. So that's exciting. What are your plans for those Marines? Will they be something like Trader, Dark Eldar, or are they completely loyal? The Marines? They're going to be part of my Black Templar army. I own Black Templars. So, yeah. So next week, I think, once I prime them, because right now it's like crazy humid and hot in Ontario. It's massively crazy. So once I prime them, or once I get to prime them, I'll paint them. Now I am looking forward to painting them in the Black Templar colors, and we just finished painting a Black Templar Lieutenant and a set of Black Templar like intercessors, just with bolters. So I'm looking forward to adding some more of them to the Black Templar army. So that's going to be really fun. How do you think Inari will fare in 9th? Trumpy square. Well, always fight first is a much better rule than it was, so it does become more relevant. Will it change like their value? I don't know. I really don't. I think it just because it'll really depend on what you bring, right? And it sort of is designed to be more of a close combat style army. So the Incarn, though, because it's like pretty obvious that you're allowed to like heroically intervene now when you set up firm reinforcements,
right? So you're not allowed to do very specific things. So you can heroically intervene, which is good. So that's going to be like a plus. Um, and then on top of that, you've got, um, if you take them as Eldari or like Craft with Eldar, you have like a whole series of units that are really good that get better. And then if you take Dark Eldar, you get a whole series of units that are really good as Dark Eldar. So what's crazy high humidity, says Phelps? Well, just in Canada right now, we've had humidity. So that when you prime, if you're not careful, your primer gets all fuzzy and goes all crazy. So you have to wait till the humidity goes down a little bit so that you don't ruin the model that you just primed, essentially, which can also be a pain. But love your list game plan. Any tips for a NIDS variant? Oh, you mean like the triple layered approach? Yeah, so you definitely would want to have, like, I think warriors are excellent. I think, especially if you have like a Maliceptor in there. Sorry, is it the Maliceptor that makes you lower your leadership? I think it's the Malice. Anyway, you get one in there that has the lower leadership, sorry, the lower strength thing. The -1 damage makes them very, very strong, very powerful. And on top of that, you should get like the Swarm Lord so you can push something up in your opponent's face. So have like something you push up on your opponent to kind of block them in and zone them out of the board, uh, whether it lasts 1 or 2 turns. Get onto objectives with the rest of your army, and then basically then throw things that contest objectives on your opponent, essentially. So contest objectives, take objectives, pin them in their zone, and then a couple of exocrines I feel are still going to be super strong, potentially Hive Guard, right? Like so. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Do I think Inari will get a codex or remain a supplement? Um, well, they kind of, like Inari is really just the 3 characters, right? So other than them giving them a whole range of models, like what else do you want? Volume fluctuates. Hopefully, it's not my headset that's being all dumb. I'm in Florida, which you could imagine is a humidity sweat pit. Would you suggest just staying away from white primer? I've been having a lot of trouble with it. Yeah, like I use black primer or the bone primer, right? That's what I do, the bone colored one, because if it's just off-white or gray, like gray tends to be really good if you're trying to get like a light color, because it's not white. Color sticks to it a lot better, it just flows better with like, any other color. So gray is a good primer color, I've heard. Ildari will get one codex that has everything. Just watch. Yeah, I could see them doing that. Well, now that we've got the app coming, which I'm personally very excited about this app, I think it's going to be an excellent sort of like addition to the game. But it means that they can literally do anything, because they could just release now just an electronic copy of rules. Or if something comes out in a white dwarf, instead of having to go buy the white dwarf, you could just have it on the app, like, oh, it's just so good. I'm so excited about that personally. Very, very pumped about that. Hmm. Besides updating, I'll be on the lookout for some gray. Yeah, no problem, Christopher. Thanks for the question. You know, After all, we do have a solution to every problem you might have in the world, and it's hashtag just put paint on it. That is a solution to all our problems, folks. Hashtag just put paint on it. By the way, if you have anything you want to show off that you've painted, use the hashtag just put paint on it on social media to hashtag share the hobby love. Huh? Huh? Aside from updating the resin models for Drukhari, what's something new you'd love to see GW give the Drukhari lovers? I want them to bring back some of the old school characters, like the Decapitator, Duke Sliskus, maybe Lady Malice, right? Corella Devile, she was hilarious back in the day. Which one do you prefer, personally, Falcon or Fire Prism? What are your thoughts on Warwalkers? I prefer the Fire Prism, and I think Warwalkers are very versatile because they can outflank and they work really well with a lot of the secondaries that are a thing now. So, Yeah, that's what I would recommend. Yes, the app looks great, and now GW gets more money. Just put paint on it. Yeah. Yeah, to be honest, we've all been asking for this, being like, I would be willing to pay for an app if we just had all the rules in one spot. They finally released it. Richard Kilton, hello. I hope I get to play you someday. I hope I get to play you as well, Richard. Hopefully the world will go to some semblance of normal soon and we get to throw down some dice. Vect. Yeah, that Vect would be a good model to re-release. I have the old school Vect. He's just sitting up there on my shelf with his Dace of Destruction, surrounded by his bodyguards and stuff. Let's see. By the way, my man's your Death Guard are gross. I think that would be more of a compliment than anything. Is that how that works? Let's see what happens to the points for my Deredeo Dreadnought. Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting if Forge World or how much Forge World points go up and or down based on, the new edition or whatever. Volume again. What the heck, man? Rich and Scary playing us to be filmed. I'd love to watch that. You two are some of my favorite people. Ah, Grove in Grove. What's going on, buddy? Well, we will make that happen. I finally got to play Don Huson, which is great. So, there's like a whole list of players that I need to play. I've played Manny Chima, I've played Don Huson, I've played Nick Nanavati, I've played John Lennon, I've played Justin Lewis, I've played like a whole bunch of big names. Andrew Gagno, he's one of my favorites. There's been a bunch of people I've played, so that's fun. Still not fixed. What? Could be this. Is it in here? Is there like a connection issue there? Hey, Renlord, 10 months of subscription. Nice, man. Just be wary. Richard plays off Vect all the time to make sure you cannot get around his stratagems. But that's fine. Come on, get out of here, little fly thing. That's fine. I don't mind. Well, Vect is Vect. I just keep him in my pocket. I only use him. Yes, it is a connection thing there. Dang it. Okay, so I'll have to contact Razor and get them to give me a new one. The jerks. How do you feel about Chaos Marines will fit ninth? Seems like they don't lose too much, get some benefits from new rules. I think Chaos is still really strong. You're gonna have to soup them, but I think they're one of the factions that can sort of play with fewer command points. You're not going to see as many like HQs, I don't think, unless you go crazy on like patrols, for example, to just get as many HQs as possible. And I really hope to see summoning kind of become a thing again. So I feel like summoning basically brings out sort of like the ability to kind of like fill the gaps of a limited force organization slot, essentially. So I think that is of value, personally, right? I'll be so happy if summoning is relevant. Yeah, and I think it's up to Chaos players to sort of make it relevant, right? Like a lot of the times you summon one or two things or whatever, but then you kind of I've doubled one Vect against him on Grot Shield more than once, but hey, with new reroll rules, my Vect just got 1 CP cheaper. Yeah, it's true. Actually, yesterday I did Vect, and my Vect did roll a 1, and I was like, oh god. I was like, no. But I was like, I'm gonna have to get used to that. If you Vect, you're gonna Vect, and then people are gonna be like, roll a 1, and it's, oh man, you can't re-roll it anymore. So, Warlord needs to share a keyword. They're excusing from Imperial and Chaos Eldar keywords. What is that question? BP Edwards says, I'd like to ask a question about Supreme Command attachments. Hopefully you haven't answered this one too much. Where it says that Warlord needs to share a keyword, there are exclusions for this? No, there are no exclusions. Not at all. Summoned demons do not destroy Legion trait. No, anything that's summoned doesn't count as part of a detachment in any way, shape, or form. So if you summon a demon, it won't modify or change like any detachment bonuses you get for being like a specific faction. They basically exist outside of the detachment focus. So if you have like 200 points or whatever set aside for summoning, and you say, you know what, if I'm playing this player, I can summon a Demon Prince. If I'm playing this player, I can summon a Contorted Epitome. As long as you have the characters in your normal list that will sort of allow you to do that, right, to summon different things, I think it's a very powerful tool to be able to go, well, I'm going to play a Black Legion army. Like, say, this is an example. Say you wanted to play, I'm going to play Black Legion army, and I'm going to build a battalion of Black Legion, and I'm going to have an entire, I'm going to have 200 points of summoning, but I'm going to keep my character, like this little character guy, I'm going to keep him with he's going to have no marks. So that at the beginning of the turn, I can spend the CPU as Black Legion and make him every mark, right? So then he could literally sit there and summon any demon he wants. And then go, well, depending on who I need to play against, I need like Nurgle demons or Khorne demons or Slaanesh demons. I can summon something in to be useful, right? Gorkan, how's it going? What do you think of Tau in ninth? Triptide list? I think Triptide is back. Yep. Hey, Science Bruda. Thanks for the follow on Twitch. I really appreciate it. Can you use a strat to summon after you move, then roll 1 dice, add 7 to the result? Can use a strat to summon. Yeah, okay, cool. So there's some strats and stuff you can even do that make summoning more useful. So Riptides are hit hard with no shooting fire. Yeah, but you can always do, like, you can always just shoot into combat, whatever. Riptides are good in combat with a 3-up invul. They just sit there and tank stuff. Spud unit. Hey man, brand new Drukhari player. Hello, brand new Drukhari player. Playing a little 1,000 point competition with some buds. Any suggestions, rough idea around a list? Guessing 1k is not enough for a rating force. No, you're going to be 2 detachment limit, right? So run a battalion and then make it a cabal. And then if you need an extra one, get a patrol of Coven, and then use the Alliance of Agony to get the Diabolical Soothsayer Warlord trait to pay for it, essentially. That's what I would do. Are we expecting that Forgeal units are going to be balanced enough to justify the cost of a Tantalus Reaper? Yes, I hope so. Sorry, where it says they need to share a keyword to gain CP back for their other battalion. It doesn't have to be a specific keyword. It can be like any keyword that they share. Yeah. Are you eligible to play on Team England and Team Mexico? I am indeed, Malcolm. Yes. Also means the summoned demon troops don't get objectives secured. Yeah, that is true, but a lot of times you're taking like Beasts of Nurgle, which is some of the most efficient point, or at least right now, before the point releases, point for point units in the game, right? In terms of model per unit. Or like Fiends of Slaanesh or a Demon Prince or Dave the LARPer. Hey Dave. By the way, if anybody's lurking today, thanks for lurking. You are all amazing. Thank you very much. Demon faction focus was big on cover. Reamer says that sounds amazing, to be honest. I'm glad you like it. Triptide and have no friends. Triptide is better than 6 commanders, though. Ugh. Ugh. Shudder. Shudder. Because, who wants to play against 6 Tau commanders? At least if somebody takes 6 Tau commanders now, they will physically have no points for anything else, or no command points to do anything, because it is just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Where's this one? This one. That's that one. That one goes in this one here. So that one's like a small one. Yeah, okay. Have you guys ever thought of playing Age of Sigmar? Yes, I play Age of Sigmar. I even have a few battle reports where I played Age of Sigmar. I don't have a new army though. I play Tomb Kings, which is basically a retconned army. It's gone. I enjoyed your recent garage bat reps, dude. Hey, thanks, Crimson. I had a lot of fun filming them. They have been very fun, just like garage hammering it out, like old school style, like with buds, because I can't have them in the house where the studio is because of the COVID stuff. But it has definitely been a fun sort of like way to make sure that I get some content out for all of you to enjoy. Colton says, I hate playing against Triptide. Well, who doesn't? If I include witch cult or coven units in the same battalion with Cabal, they just won't get cult or coven keywords. Can I? They just won't get the obsession. So they don't get to benefit from the cult or coven keywords. But you could literally put them in there as Drukhari, basically. So you could mix them in if you want, but then you're missing out on all the cool stuff from the covens. Try to get double Corvus Deathwing list working. My problem is my troops are so expensive. Don't have master hold objectives. Any tips? Basically, instead of trying to go for all the objectives, pick like an area where you can influence multiple objectives and take that area instead of trying to be all over the table. Just pick one area of the table that lets you control 3 out of 5, for example, instead of trying to get all of them. I'm planning on collecting salamanders. I have the Indomitors reserved. Do you think getting start collect Vanguard Space Marines as well would be good? I like the Vanguard Space Marine models and units. I think they're excellent choice to add to any Space Marine army. Hey, Cynical, what's going on? Is that an Executioner or a regular Repulsor? This is a regular Repulsor that I'm building today. I do not own an Executioner yet. This one's for Cody, actually, at the Hooded Goblin. So I'm working on that guy. And then eventually I'll get an Executioner. I feel my Black Templars, like I usually run a couple of things, but I'll eventually get an Executioner for sure. Dave the LARPer says, cheers, also thanks for the videos. No problem. Thanks for coming to say hello and, being a part of this whole process when we do videos and streams and whatnot. By the way, if anybody has like any sort of suggestion or anything, what you'd like to watch or whatnot, I'm always constantly looking for suggestions, especially that 9th edition is here, If you haven't already, consider hopping onto the Patreon and supporting the channel, or clicking that little like, share, subscribe button, all that good stuff, Let's get the love out there. Let's get the love out there. Harry says, do you use an airbrush? No. I used to have one, sold it a few years ago, haven't really gone back into it. Do I have any recommendations? I don't personally, because I don't really know much. I do know that a couple of like my Patreons are very big airbrush enthusiasts, and they're always giving suggestions to people in the Discord about what airbrushes and which ones to use and what compressors and a whole bunch of stuff. So, but there's a lot of videos online that you can kind of do that. Renlore, Vanguard is a good box. Zerath says, actually, I started collecting Dark Eldar because of your content. Thank you. Little heart. Nice. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. Actually, it's funny because I had some like naysayers a year ago being like, Scary makes you lose because you buy all the stuff and everything's terrible and he's only good because he's good. I'm like, okay, whatever. Naysayers will be naysayers is usually how that works. But if you find something that you enjoy and that you love playing, that you're when somebody wants to start playing the game and they go, hey, Scary, what should I buy or what should I get? I'm like, you know what? You have to look at it like this. I've been playing the game for 20 years, right? More than 20 years. You need to buy something and collect something that you're going to want to play with and collect, whether or not, it's like 10 years from now or 15 years from now. What army that you look at looks cool for you and that you want to kind of collect, it doesn't matter like how good it is. And that's what you collect. Hey, Toldra, what is going on? Any thoughts on orcs in the edition, Coulson? Orcs. I think we might start seeing, I have a feeling it'll be a lot of boys and trucks, to be honest. I think that's kind of like what you're going to see in the new edition. Just 10-man units of orc boys in trucks everywhere. I feel like that'll be really good. I just have like this sinking feeling. Walter Banks says, hey, bud, thank you for being upfront and honest with the new rules. My group and I are. Hey, no problem. Thanks for watching. I'm glad you're enjoying it. There's no point in sugarcoating stuff. Just, that's how it is. Yeah, I've gone through 6 edition changes, so it's par for the course. I played the person I played yesterday with his Tyranids, and he was like, "Oh, going first is way too powerful," and this and that, and I'm like, "No, it isn't. Just play the game. Play the damn game. The game isn't even out technically yet. Just got the Indomitus boxed models base coated. Nice. They look fantastic. Nice." Nigel says, "Are Primaris Reavers going to have a role in ninth with the new Primaris Assault Marines?" Yes, I could see that. Cynical, also changing my Harlequin list to have more transports. Yep, they're good. WZA, hey WZA. Transports seem to be getting popular. Correct. How about a video on how to defend or take objectives with transport and accompanying unit? Oh, interesting. I like that video. Send me a message about that so I don't forget. I agree Skari wins because he is good and not because his army is good. W, please buff. Hey Valerie, how's it going? Thanks for your very honest commentary there, Valerie. Malker, Speed Racer, 18 month subscriptions on Twitch. What is this madness? How have you put up with me for 18 months? That's almost 2 years, man. Yes, and I stream every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. So, if you like hanging out and chatting with me, get on board. Christopher, do you think it would be safe to assume Space Marines and Necrons are going to be the first Codex out? I'd say Necrons are for sure. Space Marines, maybe not. Karma Lama says, just started collecting Zinch demons. Do you have any tips for a newcomer playing demons? Love your bat reps. Thank you. So Karma, Death Chicken is amazing. And try, really look at the list that Cody was playing and try build something like that. And if you have, and it's actually a lot more powerful than it seems. But something that's very high aggro can get in people's faces. As I said, the three-tiered approach: pin, control, support. So you pin them in place with a bunch of keepers of secrets. You control with mid-board stuff, and then support with deep strikers or things like that as well. Andrew Stalworth asks, thoughts on Tau in ninth? They're going to shoot a lot. However, there should be more terrain and things to hide behind, so they're going to have to be more mobile. So you might be seeing stuff that is a lot more mobile in Tau in ninth edition. Speed Racer, how's it going? Zerath says, my first army was Chaos Space Marines when I had my Warriors of Chaos in fantasy battles. Nice. When I was choosing between Sororitas and Drukhari, want to paint them like Taladrin from StarCraft 2. That's kind of cool. Diokos says, a person mentioned running Witch Cult, Coven, and Cabal in the same detachment. Is there any benefit to do so? The only benefit would be to use stratagems that are triggered by a keyword, right? So if I wanted to run a battalion that was Cabal, Witch Cult, and Cabal, Witch Cult, and Coven, I'd make sure that the stratagems for each of those Cabal, Witch Cult, and Coven can be used on the units inside of my army. So I would probably do something like an Archon, a Witch Cult, and a Homunculus, so I can use Alliance of Agony to give them all, a Warlord traits or whatever. Then I would take a unit of Witches, a unit of Cavalry Warriors, a unit of Rax. Maybe not even Cavalry Warriors. I'd just take Rax, Prophets of Flesh, so they can Black Cornucopians. I would take a unit of Witches and make them probably Cult of Strife, so they can attack twice. And then I would take a unit of, and then in the fast attack slot, I'd probably take, Reaver Jet Bikes, so they can advance and slash people with their mortal wounds. And then in heavy support, I'd probably take a Dark Tech. I would probably take a Dark Creed Reaper, or so that he can shoot at a character like a sniper. And then I would take a Tantalus that's Cult of Strife, so it could shoot twice if needed, basically. So you're just using different strats. So you lose the benefits of the obsessions, but you can do a variety of different things, which can be handy. Hey Skari, says Jaden. Thoughts on making Drazar and 30 Incubi work? So I would take Drazar and some Cabal and stuff in like a Dark Eldar detachment, and then I would take an Inari detachment and have 30 Incubi as Inari, because then they get the cool Inari stuff. And then Drazar still buffs the Incubi because he buffs the Incubi keyword, not Drukhari. So that's what I would do. Hey, War Mistress. The emoji of Skari picking his nose. Thank you. Thank you very much. Teach Robot. Thanks for the follow on Twitch. That tank doesn't have nearly enough spikes on. That is true. We're in a crazy world right now. Dazed, but glad you're doing well. Good. Nuno says, when's your next podcast talk with Brandon Grant on Frontline Gaming? I'm not sure. We record on Mondays. So I think Brandon Grant is on holiday right now. Day 1 FAQ with the charge cheat. The charge cheat? The what? An Archon, a witch cult, and a coven walk into a bar, and they all say, ow. But they felt no pain. Dark Technomance is what you want. If you're taking a bunch of venoms, for sure. I live in Belarus, and on 90% of tournaments, Forgeron models like Reaper Tandless are restricted. True, Zerath, that is true. However, they are part of the GW rules, and even the WTC is going to be adding them in. So get used to Forgeron. Just use it. It's the way of the future. Surely triple patrol for Drukhari will be the way to go. Yes, that's what I've been doing. If you want to know about the charge thing, it's on Twitter. I couldn't be bothered. Okay, cool. Well, I guess I'll take a look at it at some point. It's clearly going right over my head, clearly. So it's not exactly something that I'm like, that I know what's going on here with. Now I'm going to build some exhaust port pipe things. And we're going to glue that on. And then, and then glue the little tidbitty things on this side. When we get the new codex eventually, do you think they'll change the keywords for the mercenaries so they can use obsessions better? I would hope so. I think, for example, Scourge especially should have obsessions. However, I think Mandrakes and Incubi definitely wouldn't. But, it's funny because Mandrakes you see, but you don't really see often. And then Incubi you never see, right? So giving them obsession keywords because they adhere to the fighting style of their cabal or whatever, that could be useful, right? So, and those nice Chronos looking good depending on points. Oh yes, Dark Technomancer Chronos are like some of the most killy units in the game. The thing is you have to take a whole detachment for that, right? To give them Dark Tech, so you can use their obsession. Personally, is the best thing of Frontline Gaming when both of you talked about things. Really love it. That's why I asked. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. Brandon Grant and I love chatting, so it's always fun when we get to discuss certain topics and whatnot. And him and I think very similarly about a variety of different things. It's always nice to sort of split things up or spread things out and kind of bounce ideas off each other. I cannot wait to play Mr. Grant as well. I think that's going to be a great and entertaining game when we finally get to fight each other, which I think will be great. Yeah. Have you seen the new Space Marine Eradicator rules? Eldar players have been quite upset Spaghetti Specialist Armies being out-specialized. Thoughts? We'll see. Space Marines are Space Marines. They always get cool stuff. They're literally Space Marines. As for Fire Dragons, I hope they remain relevant. I presume that they won't really get much of an update until, their codex gets re-released or they get plastic sets. Probably will end up Indomitus Marines, but I'm considering trying out Bugnids. Nice. I like Bugnids. I think they're good. Is there a way to technically get an 8.5-inch charge out of Deep Strike if you deploy on the second floor of Ruin? I doubt it will ever come up in a game because it's so specific. If you're charging into something that is on the second floor of a Ruin out of Deep Strike. Not you on a Ruin because you still have to do the vertical distance. But you can ruins and vertical distance, so not just ruins, just vertical distance and deep striking and stuff does change a lot of the mechanics and whatnot. Wait for the FAQs. Okay, I'm sure that the FAQs will once the FAQs are out and if they've missed something, that's when you talk about it. Thank you for your answers and content. Wish you luck. No problem, Zareth. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Con Man Chronicles. Scary, are you selling your empty Indomitus box behind you? Just the box? I don't know, PM me if you want to buy it. I don't care. It's a box to me. John Chavez says, painting up my guardsmen to battle ready. 6 down, 264 to go. Nice. Nuno says, challenge for both of you on that game. You play with guard, him with Drukhari. That'd be fun. Then again, I think, I've got some experience playing with my Talarns, so maybe I have a bit of a leg up on that one. but I would never underestimate him. Best joke I've heard about Space Marines getting all the toys that Belisar is called is actually the Blood Ravens Primarch. That's funny. Valerie thinks it'll be FAQ'd. General tips to beat the Alaris bomb. You mean like a bunch of Alaris Terminators? Just play to the mission, like honestly. Just kill everything else as much as you can. Don't worry. The trick to beating a bomb is don't worry about the bomb. Just play the game. Got some Hellions and Blood of Phoenix, but don't see them in lists much. Neither do I. I'd like to make Hellions useful. 10 Custodes Terminators drop in 3 inches away with the Vexilla. Yeah. I think that's a strat though, so I always keep Vect in my pocket for that one. The pod is released at 7 a.m. my time, so always get to listen. Nice, that's awesome. Every single day it's so much work. Yes, War Mistress, so true. Always wanted to try a tournament where you made the worst list possible, swap armies with your opponent before the game. You have to win with your opponent's worst army. I did that with a couple of people during lockdown when we played on Tabletop Simulator. We're like, I'm gonna make a really shitty list. You make a really bad list, and then we'll trade. Okay, cool. So I did that a few times. It's super fun. Hello, Alfarath from Poland. I'm from Canada. How are you? Isn't the Vexilla a walking model? I don't really see how it makes it into in the first place. No, because it can like move in advance, right? Get into position and then like ta-da, then bring all his folks down. So it's a little bit more than like you think. Like it's got a decent distance. 5 out of 6 opponents hate Vect. That is true. Kroot versus Cultists. Kroot every time. No jacket? I'm disappointed. I'm just doing a hobby stream. It's not my official stream. Plus, it's cold in here. Can you tell? I'm part of the crew 40k today. Yes, you are, War Mistress. I'm pretty sure it's 6 out of 6. Yeah, Vect just terrifies 6 out of 6 people. But, you know, somebody that's very trigger happy with Vect is not as scary as someone who just uses Vect once in the game. 540 Grub Army is my favorite 8th list concept. Ugh. Terrifying. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's just awful. Awful, awful, awful. Too many grots. Too many grots for my liking at least. Now is the fun part. This is where we get all the guns for this thing up and running. Definitely going to make it the heavy bolter variant because why not? It's the cheaper of the variants. There is the heavy bolter. There it is. There it is. I mean, Forge the Narrative. Forge the Narrative is also really cool. Good old TPM. Paul Murphy. The thing I don't like about these heavy bolters is they have like the extra little bit that they have to put for the muzzle or the nozzle. I'm like, it's like a fiddly little bit, and you have to glue it, and it's a pain in the neck. There they are. See, look at the size of that. Like, why didn't you just make them all one thing? Like, what if I clip it and like disappears and kind of goes haywire? This week's episode. Yes, it was actually a good episode. The Women in Wargaming episode. I like that episode. It was well done. Good topic too. Ron says, get a haircut. Oh, hey, Ron. I miss you, buddy. And yes, I need a haircut badly. I need a haircut terrifyingly badly. Good old Ron, the biggest troll in the internet, joining in on Periscope. Thanks for saying hello for like 2 seconds. Any advice for hobby block? I can't sit down to my hobby for months now. We have a very simple solution for that. And it's just put paint on it. That's it. It's the simplest solution. There's nothing else you can say. It's just put paint on it. That's it. Done and done. Rimurs asks, are you planning to create patrol list scar for some Crusade and see your little dudes grow? Yes, I already have my Crusade list pretty much all set up. So I am working on that right now. It's going to be super fun as well as we go. Apparently, all the women wargaming in BC. Well, all the women that were in that podcast, I'm sure there are many more women in the hobby. all over the world. I forgot to say, I got a hold of Vec's old model. Nice. Just waiting for it to arrive. Nice. Do you have any words of advice with putting this model together? It's a lot heavier than you think. And be prepared. So it's a lot heavier than you think, first of all. So this is actually quite heavy. Secondly, make sure that you paint each model individually and glue them all together, because you're painting 9 different models. 9 different models plus the tank. So, yeah. Yeah, so just remember you're painting like an entire unit plus Vect. Finally made it to Dad stream time. Hey, OG Snoop, what's going on? I guess this is Dad stream time. You know, we are dads here. What is BC? British Columbia in it's a province of Canada. There you go. I learned something. Seems like sometimes Charlotte is in Alberta. Western still, yep. British Columbia. Ontario has to step up. Step up. Well, I try. I can like just dress and drag if you want me to, my mans. My wife has absolutely zero interest in my efforts, Alpha Note. Yeah, my wife pretends like Warhammer doesn't exist either. It's okay. That throne is heavy. I love that model. Yes, there's rumor going around that English language version of Indomitus is in short supply. Sure. I don't know. That's gorgeously painted. Thank you. I had a lot of fun painting that on the Twitch stream that we do every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. Basically, it tries with St. Catherine in Drukhari form. Correct. Kayla says, if you would make a top 4 between Druk, Kraft, Hark, Yanari monofactions, which place would each of the 4 get competitive-wise? Well, in whose hands? They're very different. However, I would probably say, I'd probably say Inari at the bottom, then either Drukhari and Harlequins put together, and then Craftworld, because Craftworld just has everything that you need. So they're at the top, I would assume. Yeah, and maybe Harlequins is just a little bit higher than Drukhari in like when played properly. I'm going to have to magnetize one of those Primaris tanks. That'll be fun. Yeah, get her done. Skari isn't dad, he's daddy. I am daddy. You can call me daddy and look at me in the eyes. You like the new Judicar? I think I'm thinking running 2 White Scars. Nice. That sounds really fun. I love like the Chaplain style stuff is really good. The Judicar. To be honest, they all look like they could be converted into like an Empress Champion. I think that'd probably be one of my favorites. Would be like a really nice looking Empress Champion style thing. So do. There we go. Always fun. So I hope everybody's doing well. If you're working on anything specifically, what are you working on right now? What is in front of your hobby table? Is it something that you're enjoying hobbying on? Do you have any ideas of what you'd like to hobby on next? You know, where is your next hobby adventure taking you? What do you think of the new book missions? Seem a bit non-interactive-y to me. I'm looking forward to the GT missions, so I'll have more of it because I'll be playing probably GT missions a lot more than like the normal missions or whatever. So once I get my hands on the GT stuff, then I'll be able to give a better like interactive idea of what to expect and whatnot. As for the regular book missions, yeah, the primary mission is pretty straightforward, but it's definitely the most important part of the missions, right? Like hold 2, hold more. Like it's super, super important. So you have to get used to playing that, number 1. Death Guard, 30 Incubi, nice. Tank Rescue, awesome. Night Haunt, we'll be doing the Necrons, the Black Templar, nice. I lost my train of thought, sorry. I totally lost. Hey, the War Mistress subscribed. 10 months? You've already been following me on Twitch for 10 months? Where does time go, War Mistress? Where does time go? I'm so happy of all of you folks that enjoy the content and hang out when we do this kind of thing. It's really nice. It is Friday. Fun day Friday. Fun Friday, fun day, I guess. Is that how that works? Something I never understood here is that you've got so this is the thing, right? And look at this. So this is covered, right? And then you've got the shell casing expeller right there. I think on mine I actually cut it so the shell casings could actually escape. Silly. Drazar is on my painting table. Nice. He's awesome. I love Drazar. An Epidemus, Indomitus, nice. Gonna do Blood Angels. Ah, that's cool. Blood Angel Indomitus is. Well, that sounds exciting. This goes here like this. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Do 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 do. It's always good to not put too much glue on stuff, because then if you ever need to rip it off, you can. Let's take a look at some of the more questions that have been coming in. Who does Crusade work from a pile of minis to playing? Do I make an army list like normal, then play different missions? So, Robbie, you make a sort of like a master roster of 50 power level. And then when you play a game, you say, hey, Frank, let's play a game together. And you go, cool, what's the power level we want to play? Let's play 25 power level. Awesome. So then you make a list with units from your master roster and put them in. And you play your game. Then the units that made part of the game get experience and stuff, and you gain they go up in cost and stuff like that as they play, and they get like cool rules and all this stuff. And then you can increase your master roster by say, I want to be able to make it, 60 power level, so I'm gonna add a couple more units to my master roster so that I can use them later in the game, etc., etc., etc. So I like it. Want to start converting some assault intercessors into corn berserkers? Yeah, get the little bunny ears on them. They look really fun too. Harlequin Eldar God set. This is what blocked me. I think because of non-metallic gold. Then, whenever I find I'm like blocked, I work on terrain. A lot of the times just building and painting terrain helps me get over the paint block, because I'm going to use the terrain on the table, and it just gets me sort of like in the flow of sitting down and doing some hobby. And then from there you can kind of move on to something else. Gotta run. Thanks. No problem, Prankster. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Gonna be cracking down on old Necrons. Nice, says O Megalord. Harry says, I wonder if Eldar will ever get infected by the Nids. Have you read a couple of books? It has happened. How does it work against tournament players? How does what work against tournament players? Sorry, I totally missed what you're talking about. Greetings, Ross. How are you? Crusade. Oh, so you would have your Crusade army, and your tournament player would say, I want to play my tournament army. You're like, cool. What's the power level of your tournament army? 100 power level. Cool. So I'm going to build 100 power level with the Crusade models, and we're going to play a Crusade mission. That's it. You just have to play a Crusade mission, but they can play their army, and then you can play your army as long as it's the same power level. And that's it. Robot fingers crossed for Lorgars and Imperium Primarch. Their faith was sort of his idea. Lorgar's not a Primarch. I'm doing good, working on my ghostly dark kin. Nice, Ross. AOS Blood Warriors make good berserkers. That is also true. Fulgrim. Yes, Fulgrim would be cool. Hopefully they get some cool stuff that way as well. I need to build, is it one Stormbolter? Might as well. Keep it cheap, keep it simple. Just a bunch of Stormbolters. Because I know I'm going to need more than one Stormbolter, so... Oh, ow. Fragstorm or Stormbolter? Just keep it simple. Just put them all Stormbolters. Not like anybody cares. It's not like any... Oh, I guess he wanted to magnetize most of them. So maybe I shouldn't build them and let him just kind of magnetize them. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to talk to him first before I start gluing a bunch of shit together. See kind of what weapon loadout he wants for that. So that'd be good. I'd love to see a Dark Eldar Lord of War. I know, so would I. Wouldn't that be exciting? That would definitely... Oh, I still have coffee in here. I only played Dark Eldar. That's funny. Do you think GW may update the Eldar line to plastic in the same way they did Sisters? I could see Eldar being one of the ones they redo soon, just because they are redoable in a lot of ways. Fragstorm, though, might have blast keyword and then can't be shown to melee. Yeah, who knows? We'll see. Pintle-mounted combi flamers going to make a comeback. Yeah, that's true. Putting them on all your Chaos Rhinos and stuff. Okay, folks, that is going to be the end of today's Friday hobby stream. If you like to support what I do, consider supporting me on Patreon. Now, I am doing a cool giveaway, which is going to be given away on Sunday. So this Sunday, we're doing the Catachan Kernel giveaway. A couple of ways you can enter. The first way is just be a Patreon. Any Patreons get automatically entered onto stuff like this. The second way is to find one of the sites and stuff that I put down, or the pictures on Instagram or whatever, where it says tag people, like, share. There's going to be a third way. This is a surprise way to add yourself into this. Is once you've watched this video, share the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below with a cheesy Schwarzenegger one-liner. If you put a cheesy Schwarzenegger one-liner in the comments on the YouTube video down below, you will be entered to win this Catachan Kernel. And that's it. That's easy. I will ship it anywhere in the world on me as a thank you, and a huge shout out to Max Aggression Gaming, Dan from Max Aggression Gaming, Max Aggression, man, I can't talk, who donated the Catachan Kernel to the channel as a thank you. So make sure that you check him out as well, and go to his store in Niagara as well as the store in Welland that's literally right next to the mini Wargaming bunker. Other than that, thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate your support and for hanging out. And remember to just put paint on it. After all, I am Skari, your grateful host, signing off until next time. Skari out. Bye, everybody.